I can't take the WNBA serious anymore. They hate their only cash cow in Caitlin Clark. This is the only league on earth where the players have dated each other. Now they fined Caitlin Clark and Rhyne Howard $30 apiece for just jawing at each other on the court.
The WNBA has once again revealed its inconsistency, this time by fining Caitlin Clark for the so-called offense of standing up for herself during a heated exchange with Atlanta Dream's Rhyne Howard. In a league that claims to champion strong women, it appears that strength is only acceptable under certain conditions that seem to shift depending on which player is involved. This incident highlights the league's uneven disciplinary standards and its troubling tendency to penalize the passion that makes basketball exciting, all while overlooking more serious issues facing women's basketball.
You know, there'll be the big talked about moment, Rhyne Howard, Caitlin Clark, jawing back and forth. But there's another example, right? Clark in that moment saying, I'm not scared of you. You know, I'm not afraid. Then giving her a sarcastic.
Tension reached a boiling point during the Indiana Fever's revenge game against the Atlanta Dream, as emotions ran high and both teams fiercely battled for dominance on the court. Just 2 days earlier, the Fever had suffered a disappointing loss to Atlanta, making Thursday night's matchup at State Farm Arena their chance to even the score. With 17,044 fans packed into the arena, many of whom had paid top dollar specifically to see Caitlin Clark perform, the stage was set for...
Girl, what was that about, man? She was saying, don't do that again. But I'm trying to figure out why she gets so mad. I guess because of the push right there. Kind of like a get off me a little bit. But she's holding it right there. Look at the hand checking, right? We got the hand checking going on the hip. Putting it on the chest. How you hand checking? You can't hand check. This isn't the 80s. What are we doing? Hold on, man. She's hand checking right here. Then Caitlin trying to get by, right? But her hand's still there. Her hand's still there. She up here hand checking. Yeah, get up off me, man.
What unfolded was not only a masterclass in competitive basketball, but also a revealing glimpse into the current state of WNBA politics. During Indiana's hard-fought 81-76 victory, Caitlin Clark found herself in a face-to-face confrontation with Atlanta's Rhyne Howard, a moment that would come to define not just the game, but the league's response to competitive fire. The exchange embodied everything you'd expect from two elite athletes battling for every possession in a critical matchup: intense, passionate, and fundamentally what makes basketball so compelling.
I just don't know what it is about giving Caitlin Clark foul calls that has the referees so averse, but calling more on her. And basketball is so mental. Like, when you get into someone's head, it can like really mess the rest of their game up. It can mess the momentum up.
I just don't understand what it is about giving Caitlin Clark foul calls that makes referees so hesitant. If anything, it feels like she gets more calls against her than in her favor. Basketball is such a mental game. When you get into a player's head, it can seriously throw off the rest of their performance. It disrupts their rhythm, their confidence, and the momentum of the entire team.
And in case you're wondering what Caitlin Clark said just there was, I'm not scared of you. She's going to have to wear a hard hat this season. I mean, seriously. The league is going to try to take her out in every game.
Looking to assert dominance and perhaps rattle the league's biggest star, Howard initiated contact that crossed the usual boundaries of competitive play. But instead of backing down or looking to the referees for protection, Clark stood her ground with the same unshakable resolve that has defined her entire career. In a moment that should have been celebrated as a display of competitive excellence, Clark looked Howard directly in the eye and delivered a line that perfectly captured her fearless approach to the game. I'm not scared of you.
I did really enjoy seeing the return of Trash Talk Caitlin Clark, because sometimes people forget, like, it's a fun little extra add-on of her game. She and Rhyne Howard got into it a bit early, where Rhyne Howard was like, you're in Atlanta, and Caitlin was like, I'm...
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. The crowd erupted at this display of competitive spirit, witnessing exactly the kind of intensity that makes professional sports must-watch entertainment. This was basketball at its purest. Two elite athletes testing each other's resolve, neither willing to give an inch. It was the kind of moment that builds legendary rivalries and sends fan engagement through the roof. But in the WNBA's current reality, Standing up for yourself comes with a price. What happened next perfectly illustrates the league's flawed approach to discipline and player management. Rather than celebrating Clark's competitive fire or recognizing the incident as a natural part of high-level basketball, the league chose to punish her response to Howard's aggression with a fine. At just $30, the penalty might seem minor in monetary terms, but the message it sends is anything but small. This disciplinary action raises critical questions about what the WNBA actually expects from its players. On one hand, the league markets itself as a platform for strong, independent women who won't be intimidated or pushed around. Its campaigns celebrate empowerment, competitive excellence, and the mental toughness that defines elite athletes. Yet when one of its brightest stars displays exactly those qualities in a real unscripted moment, the response is a fine and an implicit reprimand.